Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. In this tutorial we'll look on some tips and tricks how to create different coastal terrains, and in this way it's kind of actually more easy than it's look on a first time. So let's go take our camera, and one thing what I want to do, I want unchecked lock height, because if we accidentally create terrain under camera, I don't just want to jump up and down for this tutorial. So we set the height to maybe about 20 meters. So let's raise a little bit higher. And let's go create first terrain. The coastal, we have a different type of terrains. We have one sharp down and one is a little bit more kind of eroded flat surface. So we'll go create both of them. One, let's create normal terrain. Okay, also zoom out, just scale slightly up. Right click when we select the terrain and go to edit object. In edit object I want to increase resolution for this, so we can do this by clicking on duplicating or multiplication by maybe about couple times. If you click more you have higher resolution, but your count of polygons will increase. So let's click reset, and what we're going to do, just use the iceberg preset. So you can see this is look you can do for the iceberg, but we'll use it also for the coastal. Let's click OK. We also just increase in size a little bit more. Also for this scenery, let's go select screen and let's set widescreen, so we have a little bit more to work with. Go ahead and move maybe right around here. Okay, also let's take our main camera and just repositioning a little bit so we can preview the one coastal. Okay, let's go create another one. In this case what I want to do, it is not to scale but stretch. And one thing you will notice, if you go on the corners, right, these four corners, this will be scaling. You can see how it's scale our terrain here. If you take the side ones, they will stretch just only in that direction without scaling all over. So you will just increase only in direction you're actually dragging. So we go ahead. And let's go now again, right click, edit object. We go ahead again multiply, and I actually want to multiply even more. I want more details on this. We go ahead, reset and regenerate again. So we'll give it, you can notice it gives us much more details in this case. Also we'll go to effect tab and let's click on the stones and pebbles. That will give it more of those bumps. Other things also I want to not show you. So we're putting right now right here, you can notice we have these straight square lines, and if material looks same you may don't see any different, except what's happening. Let's go to assign material to those two terrains, and we'll just assign rock and plants. And let's take our ground and assign same material, so we kind of matching. And you can see before water they kind of look same, you don't see that line. Okay, we add water plane and let's see if it's pop up. Right now we don't see it, but in some materials you will see very sharp edge right here. Let me see if I can change this. So you can see the lines kind of going, and when you come closer what's happening, because mapping issue on the ground and the terrains, they will actually show up more and more. The best way to get rid of them, let's go to terrain, right click edit object, and we'll just click on the bottom. So you notice it will cut all those corners, make a little bit more natural round shape. Click OK and drop down so that our object don't float in the air. See if we can, there you go. So it's a drop on the ground. We'll click another one, right click, edit object, and we'll just go ahead, clip here. And actually I want to clip even more right here. Okay, and you can see how we have it more interesting now shape. Again, let's go drop this down. And now when we render, even it's two different materials, but you see, you don't see any lines because they're more natural, kind of blending inside. Here's one. Okay, let's go create another terrain. Okay, same. I want to scale this up. Right click, edit object, go reset. Let's click multiply, and we'll go to make iceberg as well. We'll just rotate. I just want a higher hill on this side. Move it maybe just right here. Other things what I want to do, we'll just go stretch up. So you can notice now it will have a much taller Wicker Mountains for us. Okay, so far we have a nice sharp coastal, and we have a more slightly flattened one. Okay, let's go add on back. Here's another type of terrain. Right click, edit object, reset, and we'll just go click on the peaks. So one nice thing about the peaks, they look very nice when you actually stretch them and make like a distance looking mountains. So we'll just do this, duplicate one more, put right here, and you can preview it. They have a nice kind of power mountains looking. Okay, let me rotate this one. Sometimes what you can do, you can take the same terrain, if you want to save a little bit time, slightly readjust and rotating, and they will look a little bit different than previous. Okay, you know what, let's create one more terrain just right here closer to the camera. Right click, edit object, can increase resolution. Slightly make it bigger. This will be kind of like close-up mountain. Again, right click, edit object, and let's clip it on the bottom more. Click OK, and let's drop it. Okay, this is we kind of preset. Now we're ready to work on some our terrain like trees. So let's select our first one. Double time click on a material. We have it in an advanced material editor. We'll go click add ecosystem layer. So let's go ahead, add some plants, and for now I just want to add only one type of the plant. The other things, when it's finished updating, what I want to do, we will go to our environment tab. Okay, let's wait. There you go. And right here, what's happening, sometimes it's read presets from the material below. Be sure these ones you reset if you want populate everywhere. But what I want to do, I want populate just on the top. So we can do by set altitude range to top. And also on a slope range, I want to move right here so it won't be on the slopes, it will be just on the flats. Let's click populate and preview. You notice it's populating just only on the top of the mountain. Let's go ahead and increase slightly density. Okay, and we're populating. Let's click OK. Couple other things you can do if you don't want duplicate same material everywhere. You can just right click, say copy material. Now you can click on another material, right click and say paste. It also will prompt you if you want to populate. Okay. So in this case, what it does, it is save time for you, then just open and do over and over of same material. So I like to do this way. save a lot of time. So let's go ahead. Paste material. And one thing very nice when you create distance, it's add plants very close up to the camera. So it's kind of give it our perspective. The perspective we can do several ways: by change size of the object, a reference object. Next we can do by the haze and by the blur. So let's go right now, before we do any all these additionals, I'll work on water till we can, because it's kind of open and we can see nice. So let's preview. We have a nice water, but we need to work a little bit more on the waves around kind of form. So let's click on the water, right click and go to edit object. Okay, and now we have our water surface options. We need uncheck use global wave control, so we can modify by ourselves. The form, typical depth, let's increasing. We'll put about 1 meter. And increase amount. This is given us this form around the edges. So let's pop up a little bit more. And over the waves, we'll just increase slightly. Amount, it's show how it dense to the waves, and coverage, it's from top to bottom how much of this wave overall coverage will be preferred. We'll just leave it rest as default. So let's go ahead preview. We already can see more foam right here. Again, by increasing typical depth and amount, we can increase how much foam will be going around the coastal. This is even better now, more showing. Okay, increasing depth will give it us a little bit more going towards out of the coastal. So I think it's look nice right now, and you know what, let's go ahead right click on the plant. We'll go ahead select maybe any tree you want. The one trick would make it sometimes look nice, create floating plants. So I'm putting plant right here. This will be assumption that plant is located some on a mountain very close to the camera. It doesn't matter if it's float in the air, because from your point people cannot see it. And if you want, you can create mountain here, but it will be unnecessary. Just take memory even it doesn't use it. So let's create one more. I'll just place it somewhere right, maybe here. Okay, let's go ahead to atmosphere, load atmosphere, and we'll go to God rays. We'll select animated God rays for this, click OK. We'll take our sunlight and move on different side. Okay, so let's go render preview. And one thing you notice, it's creating this sharp kind of shadows. To make very realistic look shadows for this size of terrain, what we need to do, go to sun, edit object, let's go to the shadows, use shadow map and enable soft. So let's go preview right now, and you will notice how the shadows become soft, look more real, and it's applied more like dimensional. So I think this already look very nice image. So let's go right click, we increase size, go to final, and let's preview our final image. Okay, so right here is our final image, and you can see how with these shadows we applied with soft lights, we have a very nice realistic looking shadow, distance, haze. In this tutorial we look how we can apply different type of terrain, how we can modify it to have the coastal look with the different size and different adjustments. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please come visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.